Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. It's actually been a hot minute since I have filmed a wrap up. That being said, this year I have had so much fun reading. I really have. I feel like I've gone outside my comfort zone in a million different ways. Lots of fantasy. I got some lit fic in there. I got some short stories in here to share with you guys today. I got all kinds of stuff. Let's get started. My 2024 reading challenge. I have read 15 books so far this year, and I feel like that's pretty good. My reading goal is to read 35 books this year, so it says I'm on track. So we'll see. The first book that I finished in 2024 is The 40 Days to a Joy-Filled Life, Living the 4A Principle. And this devotional was so incredible and life-changing. If you are looking for a little devotional that's lighthearted, low commitment, it's only like 3 to 4 pages a night, and it includes journaling activities, oh my gosh, please pick it up. I think it was maybe 12-15 bucks. And it's a 40-day devotional, obviously. One of the top comments on Goodreads is, not to be dramatic, but this 40-day devotional changed my life. I'm telling you, if you just need a good palate cleanser to reconnect with the Lord and get some sense on your purpose, and if you're not connected with your purpose, how to reconnect and move forward, I highly recommend the 40 Days to a Joy-Filled Life. So yeah, that was a 6 out of 5 star review for me. The second book that I finished this year was Empire of the Storms. Oh my god, so good. So good. I did do the tandem read. It took me quite a while to do just because I did not care for Tower of Dawn. Please don't come after me. I loved Empire of the Storms. I loved the characters that this book followed. This book, I'm so sorry, but to all those kale lovers out there, I'm gonna have a sit down heart to heart with you because I just don't get it. I just don't. So this kind of dragged for me, but with all the action in this, I feel like the tandem read, I kept the pacing. It kept my sanity. Juggling around these two books, I did do the tandem on my Kindle though, so I was not in public like reading some of this, putting this down, reading some of this, because that is kind of crazy. It is kind of insane. It's a fun experience, and it's kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity, because how often do authors give you the chance to do something like this? I feel like it's pretty rare. Reflecting on these two, I gave Empire of the Storms a 6 out of 5 star read. I'm kind of shocked by that, thinking back on it. Although, when I think of the Throne of Glass series, I'm not gonna lie, this book definitely is the most fresh in my brain. I said I'm utterly speechless, gutted, and beyond broken. Hands down the best in the series by far. Yep, I still stand true to that rating that I gave it. And then for Tower of Dawn here, I gave her 3 stars. The next behemoth that I tackled was Kingdom of Ash, okay? Of course, have to finish out the series, had to do it. This Bible-sized book really just has been staring me down for months. So what would I rate this book? I gave it a 5 stars, but I feel like I only gave it a 5 stars out of respect to the series in its entirety and not so much the material in this book itself. There was portions of this adventure that I really enjoyed, and then there was portions of it that were really painful to read. So I would just say, if you're not in the best mind space, there's definitely a lot of bloodshed and suffering that is present in this book. I felt like towards the end she could have given us a little bit more. Considering what everyone went through, I feel like she could have given us a little bit more, Sarah. Come on now. But it was good, and I do plan on rereading this series at some point. I don't know. I think I was just kind of hoping for a little bit more romance and a little bit more happy ending feel. And honestly, it was good. Lots of adventure, lots of action, and it was a 5 star. Don't get me wrong. 5 star read, super good. And I do think about these characters every day. So I wish there was just one more book. Onward. It's February. I'm training for my half marathon. I'm on the go because I am training so much, to and from commuting from work. And honestly, this did kind of put me in a book hangover, which is understandable. So I just thought to kind of twist or shake things up for me, I did an audiobook. And I also tried out a thriller. So I finally got around to listening to The Silent Patient. And it was so good. I just remember like driving home from work being like, oh my god, what could possibly happen? Did I guess the ending? Yeah, I did, I'm not gonna lie. But it was very entertaining. I gave this book a 4-star review. Like, it was so entertaining. I kind of went into it blind. All that I went into with it was that all my friends loved it. There was a lot of pressure on the line, and oh my god, I loved it. The writing style, this author really has fast pacing, and that was one thing that I really appreciated. Silent Patient, super crazy adventure. The next audiobook that I listened to was In 5 Years, and I was told it was a romance. I would not say that that's a romance to me. I would say, if anything, it's more of like a story about life and friendship, and at the time I just wasn't really in the mood for that. I'd given it 4 stars, but I think looking back, maybe I would give it 3 stars. I think if I would have physically read it and not done the audiobook, I would have enjoyed it more also, just because the way that they did the voices, it made it hard for me to connect with the characters. I would say give In 5 Years a try. The next book that I read, okay, full transparency, we do have some short stories in here. So I saw it at Barnes & Noble, and I just kind of liked the cover. She's really pretty, okay? And if you know me, you know that sometimes I just like to throw a historical fiction in there, or not even historical, just a fiction piece from an iconic time in history. Like last year I read this book, it's called Perfume, and it was from like the 1800s. This book is literally a 1915 novella, okay, you guys? And Brittany Broski had talked about it in her podcast, and I literally came across it at Barnes & Noble the next day, and I was like, okay, let's pick this up and just see what it's about. It is literally about a man that turns into a bug. And once he turns into this huge life-size beetle, he kind of is confronted with how much his family has been slacking off and relying on him to provide for everything. And he kind of goes through like a religious identity crisis. He goes through a crisis of whether or not he's happy. Does he want to provide for his family in this way? Is he even happy in where he lives? Blah, blah, blah. All those things. Bugs freak me out. So all the description of like the texture of like his shell and like his wings and like his creepy little legs and how he can like walk around the room kind of freaked me out. So it's kind of a lot, but the portions that went into like, who am I as a person, and what does my family really mean to me, and once I get my freedom back, I really hope I can, what am I gonna do? I liked those discussions in this book, okay? If you need a good palate cleanser, I would recommend it. The next book, I listened to it audiobook form. I listened to Gideon. I gave this book, you guys, this is the lowest rating I have given any book ever. 2 stars. 2 stars. I thought that I would appreciate British humor. Did not land ever with me. It was actually horrible. And just the necromancer language in this book is just a lot. They are constantly talking about blood, guts, gore, and bones, and I cannot stand that. And it was just so... This is why I struggled with Fourth Wing. I cannot stand a book where there's lots of challenges that are very redundant and it almost takes away from the plot. Like, yes, I can understand if there's like levels to things, but just get through it. Tell me the highlights and just let's get to the plot and move on. I don't need to hear every little bit and fight and challenge and this door unlocked that and I can't stand it. So if you like mystery with gore in space, this could be for you. With British humor, this could be for you. The next audiobook that I listened to was The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Guys, I'm kind of into thrillers this year. What is up with me? But this is my first Frida McFadden book, and oh my god, so good. I really enjoyed it. This book follows an ex-convict, and she's really just looking for a new job to just get her out of the situation that she's in. And sure enough, this beautiful mansion is looking for a housekeeper, and she goes and interviews, and the housewife is just kind of a little kooky, but you know, it's hard for her to find a job, so she's being as accommodating to any situation as she can. She leaves the interview feeling a little weird, you know, but she gets the job. She moves in, and it's in this dingy little closet, like with no windows, no cell reception, and little weird things just kind of start unfolding, and it just gets bizarre. And it was so entertaining. I rated The Housemaid 4 stars. Super entertaining, super fast paced, cannot recommend it enough. Ooh, wow. The next book that I read this year, you guys, I read Dune. I feel like that is like a huge accomplishment in what a reader's journey. So like, yeah, excuse me while I pat myself on the back for that one, because that was hard work. Dune 2 had come out and I was on a mission to read the book Dune before I went and saw the movie, and you guys, I did it, and I'm so happy that I did, because I feel like it really allowed me to appreciate the movie even more. Like, I loved the first one, but the second one was even more magical because I had all the background of what Frank Herbert wrote in his book. It was so good. Would I recommend it to the average person? Probably not, but if you're a nerd like me and you like to know the whole story and you like the imagery that's within the movie, it was just more beautifully depicted, honestly. I gave it 5 stars. Okay, guys, it's not surprising. The next book that I read, you guys, okay, don't you dare judge me. After Dune and after all of these massive behemoth books, I needed a little something different. I needed a little change of pace. Okay? So I picked up, this isn't it, but I read the first book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. And guys, all I'm gonna say, okay? I loved it. I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. And I'm literally starting the 5th one this week, and that's all I'm gonna say. I loved it. The next book that I read this year was House on the Cerulean Sea, and oh my god, I really, really loved it. Now, I'm kind of pissed at that book because it really talks about like the corporate grind and whether or not that makes your soul happy, and it has me questioning some things, guys. I'm not okay with that. I loved it because I used to volunteer with kids a lot in college, and so this man works with like orphanages for children with supernatural powers, and he's essentially making sure that these orphanages are safe. And so he gets put on the job to go to this orphanage, this house in the Cerulean Sea, super far away, and the kids there are just absolutely lovely, and the director of the orphanage and him become really near and dear friends. The cute little interaction between the kids and him are just super sweet. Very wholesome vibes. If you're looking for a book to make you think about what is happiness, what does family mean, what does that look like, what does love mean, what does that look like also, happy vibes, happy thoughts for the brain. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. 4.5, excuse me. So after that, I read another short story, and I read The Lover. So this novella short story was published maybe in the 1940s. And it's essentially about her life and just being a French woman growing up in like Saigon, which is very interesting, and she just gets an older lover who's really rich, and she was from a very poor family. So that was kind of interesting. I gave it 3 stars. That one I felt like I could rate. I did cry a few tears when she was talking about her family because it's a really sad situation, but it just made me appreciate my family even more. I've only read 2 more books this year, guys. We're wrapping up here. Yep, not gonna lie. I read the second book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. It's called Barbarian Lover. Yep, I gave her 4 stars. And then I also read the 3rd book, and this one is Barbarian Alien, okay? I also gave her 4 stars. It's just fun. On that note, I'm almost done with The Little Life. Yeah, I don't even know what my thoughts are yet. I'll share that, I'm sure, with you guys in some video very soon. But, alright, those are all my thoughts. Mid-year reading time, guys. I've had so much fun reading this year. I feel like I've been all over the place with genres, which is always good because it actually makes me feel like my brain is actually working. But I'm having so much fun, and I'm really excited to be back chatting with y'all, sharing my love for reading with you guys. And if you have any reading recommendations, leave them below. Subscribe if you will, if you had some fun with me today. And okay, bye besties, see you later.